Hello, viewership, and welcome back to the infamous Gentleman Plays Shadow of Mordor with me, the Bard.
And me, the Doctor, in this Great. First fucking thing I say of a new recording thing, and I fuck up saying the word driving 3 times.
It was going so well. I mean, like, in fairness...
I mean, how badly can it go in, like, a few words? Apparently quite. Okay.
Now,
Our dude is there, so...
Some of our branded guys, let's just leave them to fight. Now, the plot advanced through, like, a strange stage viewership. It's been a couple of months since we recorded, but maybe, like, quite soon for you guys, depending how this comes out and edited.
Almost immediately. I don't think there will have been a gap.
Oh, well then you'll know already that we've started to brand and brainwash the Orcs of Mordor to become our, like, a little private army, which is kind of cool. I think that we've spoken about this a little bit, but we really wish this had come earlier in the game.
Yeah, this feels like this is the game's thing. Ah, Grublik the Flogger.
Do we want to go after him? We are going after him.
Yes. I don't know if we wanted to, but we certainly are. But he's one of ours already. So, I don't know what happens here. Do we just activate him and then we're all good? So, we need to dominate him. Right, okay.
Oh, so
dominate means we need to grab him and do things to him.
Okay, cool. Well, you take him down. Give him a good hiding.
Will do.
Now, unlike the previous episode's viewership, there's going to be less preparation that went into this because I could not face reading more of the history of the Lord of the Rings. It was too tough going. So, like,
that makes sense.
I've got some more facts and some more notes that I've done in research, but I've not researched as extensively for this recording session simply because I wanted to read other things.
Understandable. Let's have him do things. What do we want you to do? I forget. Oh, I'd forgotten about this. This is going to look really bad because, you know, this is one of the war chiefs.
Oh, that was easy.
Oh, we'd already had him branded. Let's make him Riot? I don't know. What do I want him to do?
Do we want to send him after Ishka the Nightbringer? Because he seems to be
let's see what happens there. Let's create a power struggle.
Oh, Ishka the Nightbringer is pretty rad, actually.
Yeah, let's see what goes on there. Cool.
Now, this feature is still really cool, and I'm glad that the game has eventually gotten here. It feels like it's taken too long to get here.
Yeah.
And furthermore, it kind of feels like we don't like the Green Mordor viewership. We've talked about it a lot off camera. We don't like it. Now, there is a good reason why Mordor looks this way, Doctor. You uncovered this during your research.
Yeah, because I was looking at where this game came from. Because it feels like a really odd thing. It feels like it was kind of smooshed together from multiple sources, and indeed it is. It's two games that kind of led to it. One was called Heroes of Middle-earth or Champions of Middle-earth or something like that never came out. And the other never even got a game. It was just called Project Ares.
Oh.
So Project Ares was what the Nemesis System was developed for. And it was designed to be a Batman game.
That doesn't surprise me.
So the idea would be, it's a very tall vertical Gotham that you can explore. There's various, like, henchmen that kind of progress towards more, like, villain and then eventually supervillain status the more that you kind of progress through it. And that's kind of what became the War Chief system and stuff like that. And then you've got, ways of, like, either taking people on with, like, gadgets from range or from, like, stealth and combat and that kind of thing, which you can see how that all fits into, like, a Batman thing.
We hope to play it at some point in the channel viewership, but the Batman Arkham games are very reminiscent of this game and vice versa. And in fact, we actually think that an improved format for this game would be, instead of the War Chiefs, you've got, like, Batman's Rogues Gallery at the top of the tree, so, like, Two-Face, Poison Ivy, Joker.
Don't get me wrong, I'm enjoying this game, but this game would be better as a Batman game, I think. It works fine as a Lord of the Rings game, but it feels a little odd in some ways. Oh, I burst that man.
Yeah, it absolutely does.
And then the Lord of the Rings element came from a game that was... The idea of it would be a co-op-only game where you would control 2 characters, a Dwarf Hunter and an Elf Ranger. The Elf Ranger is basically what became Talion, and the Dwarf Hunter, we've actually seen him in this game. Technically, that's supposed to be his brother, like the Graug Hunter man that we were with. He's called, he refers to his dead brother, and his dead brother was the protagonist from that game that never came out because of concerns about co-op games and about racism.
About racism?
But they thought it would be hard to pitch a Lord of the Rings game where neither of the main characters are human.
It looks like Ishka Nightbringer is getting his ass kicked. Can we just...
He should be. I'm here making sure he gets his ass kicked, essentially.
Is there any way we can brand him? Because isn't that why we came to
We don't need to brand him, we just need to take him out one way or the other.
Oh yes, he's not a war chief, he's like a lieutenant, of course.
Yeah. Let's just try and... Actually, you know what? I can just grab him and we can brand him anyway. Oh, no. Oh, whoops.
Oh, well. Or we could just...
I can do this.
We could just shank him.
And... let's gain intel. Let's burn his brain out and gain some intel on one of the other war chiefs, I reckon. Let's gain some intel on this guy.
As of yet, unknown war chief.
Hugrish the Crafty.
We were talking possibly off-camera viewership about like how rad a job it would be for just to sit in a room and come up with orky titles, and how we kept getting our ass kicked in the previous like iteration of this like series.
I do wonder how much of that Dan Abnett had a hand in, because I know he wrote basically all the orc dialogue.
Yeah, we do.
So
like,
he may have come up with some orc names as well.
We do like Dan Abnett. We've discussed him at length on the podcast on the series before. We love Dan Abnett.
It is kind of a podcast, let's be honest.
It is a podcast that you kind of play games over.
Off you go, boys.
Get him, boys!
I want to get stuck in with the boys.
I love that.
When you were talking about orky names, so that's where my brain went to. Right, let's have a look at Sauron's army now. This guy is not looking so hot. He has only one lieutenant left, and he's, quite frankly, a traitor. So
let's take him down.
Brutalize his favourite, become undetected, and wait for him to arrive.
So the brutalization is where you absolutely massacre a corpse with a level of ferocity that even is unnecessary, even when even when striking down a minion of Sauron.
What the fuck, dude? Is everything all right at home? An orc. So right, I need to remember some of these. Combat finishers are the key.
To keep you invested in viewership, and just, so we know you're out there, people have been really engaged with this series, posting lots of comments, which is lovely, but post up in the comments. You tell us, like, if you had to name an orc chieftain, what would you call him? Ishka the dung collector? Ishka the badass? Ishka the fat? I don't know. You tell us in the comments, what's a good orc chieftain name? And
I think I came up with quite a good one in the drunk truck, which I was taking the piss out of Horhog Tree Crafter or whatever he was called. I was like, fucking Gimlook Pig fucker over here.
Tell you what, guys.
Right, so this guy, hold on a second, just need to briefly go through this guy. Combat finishers are the key, can't be stealth, can't be ranged, and is hard to fight in combat.
Okay.
So that's going to be fun.
Basically, our best bet is to then kill minions around him, build up a combat multiplier, and then shank him with the combat multiplier.
Yes, and obviously we just need to get him weak enough that we can brand him. And
Super duper.
From there. Where the fuck did it say he was? It was one of these. Actually, we can just track him, can't we?
What would happen if we were to accidentally kill one of these war chieftains? Presumably, one of his.
I think we create a power vacuum and another one comes up. So right.
But like, if we massacre this guy, surely.
Yes, okay. That's what I'm going to try. I assume you went to the same thing as me. Of we kill this guy, and surely this guy is the anointed successor.
Exactly.
Let's see what happens. This guy, has he got any realistic threats? He's a 13. He's a 13. He's a 14. It could be a power struggle. We might want to make him a bit more powerful first.
That feels like a long way for a shortcut. Let's just try and brand our man.
We'll see how it goes. If it looks like it's going to be easier to kill him than to brand him, we'll do that, and then we'll just see what happens in the ensuing power struggle. It doesn't say we have to brand the chieftains that they currently are. We just need to have 5 branded chieftains by whatever means. So.
That is true. Not for the first time viewership. We're going to praise the Nemesis system. Like, I've got some criticisms of this game, which I think in this recording session we're going to dig into a bit more. But like, the Nemesis system is incredible. This is a wonderful piece of game.
It's really warmed up nicely. It was a bit. It was problematic. Oh, okay. It wasn't problematic. We were bad at it at the beginning.
We were very bad and very drunk.
Yeah. But it has got pretty good, I think.
I absolutely concur.
I'll hide in this
shrubbery.
No, I won't.
You must bring us a shrubbery. 10 points if you get the reference.
Who doesn't get that reference? That's like one of the most famous things.
We are the orcs who say, icky, icky, betang, betang. God, I love Monty Python. Anyway, I've just given away the reference. If you haven't already, viewership, if you haven't seen Monty Python and the Holy Grail, pause what you're doing right now, turn off your computer, and go and watch it.
What if they were going to watch it on their computer? Now you've made them turn it off.
I was going to say, like, it's not like you can just... Oh.
Kill him and lay in wait for our foe.
So he's the one we need to brutalize. So we need to kill him in a particularly grim fashion as well.
He's so far away.
Yeah, this is a big area. We're still in this stronghold. I don't know what it's called, but it looks like a stronghold.
It's the War Chief's favourite.
Yeah.
Do we know if orcs, do they experience, like, amorous love? Like, can the orcs experience romance? I'm guessing not.
Yeah.
Also, like, hang on, like, there's a jaw of, like, some kind of super shark back there.
Oh shit, there is, actually.
That's like Jason have you ever seen the movie The Meg?
I have not. By design.
Featuring the talents of Jason Statham.
Jesus. Yeah, there's many reasons why I've not watched that film.
Yeah, it's about a shark as big as a skyscraper, basically. But that seems to be what that is.
That would actually be perhaps a little on the small side for an actual real-life megalodon.
Well,
they are fucking huge, that one. Not the Jason Statham one, that thing.
Did they actually exist? Of course not. You're a marine biologist.
They actually existed. The issue with them is because they are not bony because they're sharks. They're like basically all made of nose in terms of tissue. Nothing about them fossilizes except for their teeth. So megalodons definitely existed. Megalodon just means big tooth, and all we have of them are their teeth. Their teeth are similar to a great white and would fit into a similar jaw structure, and so based on that, we kind of picture them as big great whites.
Okay,
but we have nothing solid other than their teeth.
So all we really know is, like, the tooth is this big. Modern sharks have teeth.
And the tooth is gigantic. The tooth is like 20 times the size of a modern great white, and great whites are huge.
But it is speculative, though, right? So
yes,
they could just have had a bigger mouth but a smaller body, for example.
Yeah.
And that'd be a weird organism, but nevertheless.
Yeah, it's all based on, you can make, dentition gives you surprisingly good assumptions that you can make about diet and size and what you'd need. Oh, who the fuck's this guy?
Flack the Noble.
We come looking for you.
You can fuck right off, mate.
Some of the chieftain names look rad, and some of them just not great at all.
No. So, what I need to do now is get myself hidden until the War Chief turns up.
Thankfully, we are good at hiding.
Yes. What's that countdown? Oh.
Oh. That doesn't look good.
Is it good? It's... let's find out. I think I'm hidden. Yeah, I'm hidden. Let's go. And he should appear here, and everyone will start going, Zog! Zog! Yeah, here we go.
I do like the choir, the chants that the War Chief. That's pretty cool. It's a nice touch.
It was only while I was editing that I realised they were chanting the person's name. And if an orc whose name you don't know yet, who isn't a person yet, is about to do the thing where they execute you, it starts chanting their name, and then that's who they become.
See, like, I like that you did the research to find where the various component pieces of this game came from, but now that I know this was once a Batman game, and that would have been so much better.
Yeah.
And this is objectively a good game. It's well made. Like, it looks pretty. The combat is intuitive. There's a really awesome gimmick in the Nemesis system. But a Batman game with this would have just been so much better.
Right. Well, there we go. That was the button. I've activated our bloke now, so we'll see what happens there.
But there's just one of him, right?
Yeah. Maybe that wasn't the best move, but we'll be fine.
We could have wanted around branding more of his henchmen, right?
Yes, and probably should have done, in fact, but.
Maybe like his henchman will soften him up with his lieutenant that we've just sicked on him.
Yeah. So I'll either win or he'll soften him up for us. One of those two things is going to happen, so that's pretty good.
Okay. Well, that's something.
Oh shit. And that's what are allies for if not those two things, I guess. Oh shit.
Now, the Doctor and I talked about this off camera viewership, but one of the reasons we really hate sunny, green and verdant land Mordor is that this is absolutely not how orcs are supposed to work. So they hate sunlight.
Yeah. That's the weird thing about it. Well, that's a weird thing about it. Yeah, it's just all these orcs kicking about in the daytime. And yes, obviously a game where it's all just in like grim, dark Mordor would be kind of wank, as in just from a literally like playable level.
Maybe they could have like had more interior levels or like a cavern system to mix the environments up. Like I feel like they could have tried harder than obviously just lazily importing
wrong one.
An asset from another iteration of this game that never was.
Yeah, which clearly is what has happened, yeah.
Which, a little disappointing, but I mean, games have got to get made from somewhere, and obviously all games are made with limited budget and resources, but it's a little disappointing.
Yeah.
Especially because, like, this is, like, there's so much of the plot of Lord of the Rings that depends on orcs not liking being in sunlight.
Yeah.
See, like, the line that Aragorn speaks in Fellowship, where he's like, by nightfall these hills will be swarming with orcs.
Yeah.
The implication being they cannot travel in sunlight.
He's actually doing alright down there, our bloke. Obviously, our bloke's people are also working with him.
Oh, really?
It's not just him.
That's a great
Let's sow a bit of chaos. Nah. Yeah. Chaos can only work to our advantage, you know. anything that makes us feel like more than one person, always going to help, I think.
Yeah, definitely. A force multiplier, if you will.
Exactly.
Now, they make a big deal both in the movies and in the books about how Saruman's fighting Uruk-hai, their big thing, basically, is that they can travel by daylight.
Yeah.
There's a wonderful... Oh, it's not wonderful. It's a bit saga-y, which you can decide yourself how great that is, but there's a wonderful bit of what I think is wonderful dialogue in The Two Towers where Aragorn goes to the walls of Helm's Deep and he speaks to the entire host of Uruk-hai.
Yeah, that was a bit...
And they all answer him in one voice, which is a bit weird. But he goes up and he's like, "Oh, the sun's going to be rising soon," and they're like, "We care not. We are fighting Uruk-hai. We don't give a shit about the sun, basically." But again, like that's their whole strength is that these are orcs that can move in daylight. They can march further and faster. Like they can actually make assaults on free cities whilst the sun is shining, which no other orcs can do. So not even like.
You killed my favorite friend.
My favourite friend.
I don't like Orc saying friend. That doesn't feel right.
Not just his friend, Doctor. His favourite friend. Oh, our boy just killed him.
Did he?
I think
he did. Fair play to him. That's got to put him in the right position.
You've got to think so, right? That because he struck him down, he'll take his place. Yeah, even like the so-called...
Let's see how this goes.
Does our man just...
Come on, Amug. Yes!
Oh, Amug the puny.
That's one way of doing it.
Brilliant. Not so puny now, huh?
And look at that, we got 3 war chiefs. Let's deck this guy to celebrate.
Huzzah! Oh wait, hang on. Oh yeah, 3 out of 5. There we go. Excellent.
Yep. And that guy died in a horrific fashion.
Once again, that's really cool. That's how that works.
Yeah, again, it's cool that that's how it works, but it should have been like that from basically the start. This should not be an end game function. This should be how the whole game plays.
Yeah, I feel like
you shouldn't only get this when you're in the second zone of 2.
Yeah, I feel. See the death spiral that we got into in the earlier stages of this game, where we were just struggling. Against all these chieftains. Like, if we could have branded a couple and then used them as allies, that's a good way back from that. But it comes so late in the day.
Yeah.
Right,
let's...
Don't get me wrong, it's a really cool feature, but it just like I wish we'd had more time to do this.
Yeah, agreed, very much so. Don't want to do that yet. Oh, is that a main story bit? What?
But yeah, there's something called Morannon Orcs viewership, which is not a term that originates with Tolkien, but they're basically like bigger, stronger orcs. They're not quite as large as the fighting Uruk-hai, but...
the Morannon is the Black Gate.
Yeah, and I didn't realise this, but that's not Tolkien's term, so the term Morannon Orcs comes from Peter Jackson's trilogy.
Huh.
I thought that was a Tolkienian word, but I think he talks about...
I mean, it is. It's constructed Elvish. It literally means Black Gate.
Oh, okay. But I thought Tolkien used that term. Apparently, according to the Wikipedia I'm looking at, this is a term Peter Jackson devised. But you can see why. These are just bigger, stronger orcs. But notoriously, even they cannot march in daylight, because when Sauron launches his attack on Middle-earth...
He sends the cloud with it, doesn't he?
Exactly.
Some weird shit, yeah.
So... It's a legit concern that we've talked about before in this series, that Sauron is rightly afraid of what Saruman's going to do if he's got to fight him, because the fighting Uruk-hai are objectively superior to anything that he can produce. Which is kind of odd.
Having crossed orcs with goblin men, or whatever the fuck that means.
I did a bit of reading about the origins of the orcs, again, for a bit of research for this series. So, like, notoriously, they learned that, you know, they're tortured elves.
Oh, we shouldn't talk during cutscenes.
He's on our side.
Otherwise the sprite will hurt me when she's editing.
That's fair.
No choice, Talion.
We've got to help Ciri over here.
Even the stranger says this is a fool's errand. I know who she reminds you of, Talion. She is of this world. You are not.
Enough! We attack as planned.
I will take care of the orcs. We could follow behind unseen.
We get the medicine, and we leave.
I think they're getting medicine for her mother, since she's recovered from being
yes.
not Sheila.
I knew you were going to bring this up. Fuck you.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Oh, it's a stealth mission, Doctor, because you're so good at that. So stealthy.
Stealth. And stealth.
Oh, you missed. Oh, you shot him in the
Stealth
crotch.
shit out of him. Yeah.
And lead to answers of your past.
That was some classic stealth right there.
Yep.
This game's pretty forgiving on its stealth. Like, I'm still thinking in, like, actual stealth game logic of, like, it's so easy to become hidden again.
I think we mentioned it briefly in one of the previous recordings, but do you remember games like Tom Clancy's Splinter Cell, which were real stealth games, and that they were punishingly difficult?
This one's only punishingly difficult if you're fucking blasted.
Yeah. There's maybe a broader conversation for us to have about the declining difficulty of modern video games to make them more accessible, but we'll maybe get to that in a moment or two.
Yeah, I mean, my opinions on that is mostly good.
Yeah.
Games should be, the baseline difficulty of games should be very low and have the option to meaningfully increase that difficulty. And when I say meaningfully, like, it annoys me how many games are like, oh, it's hard mode, and what hard mode means is just no, like, healing items spawn. It's like, no, you should be able to have, like, smarter enemies or
bosses with
stuff like that.
Bosses with more aggressive attack patterns or things like that.
Yeah, not just, because like Zelda does that. Like, it's hard mode is just enemies don't drop healing and attacks do double damage. And it's like, that feels very lazy.
Yeah, there's a difference between difficulty and what's termed artificial difficulty.
Yes.
So there's... I demonstrate this, like... It's a really good game that I enjoy called Bloodborne. I'm sure people are familiar with it.
Yeah.
Like, really popular AAA title. It's one of the From Software games. It's like kind of...
Oh yeah, it's in the Souls ilk, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a spiritual successor to Dark Souls made by the same people. But there's a boss that I fought in that game where he's basically equipped identically to the player. So he's just as fast and as strong and deals as much damage, but he's got like 100 times the player health. Which doesn't feel like my skills aren't being tested there. It's just that like someone has wanted to make this encounter more challenging, so they've amped his health up and up and up and up. So,
and it starts to feel like the game is essentially just cheating.
Yes, exactly. Whereas like this isn't a boss with patterns that I can learn and master, or like a specific weakness that I can find with trial and error. This is just...
It's just been inflated, yeah.
Exactly. So that's what the example that I always use to demonstrate what I think of artificial difficulty.
Yeah. Right. Clear that
On the subject of Dark Souls, and like, so obviously Elden Ring is like the huge thing just now, and it's a punishingly difficult game.
Have you been playing it? Or?
I don't think I've got. Oh no, I do. I have a machine that can run it, but like I've never played it. It's a while since I've done proper video gaming. I hear really good things though. What we will say, viewership, is that the Doctor and I have discussed maybe doing one of the Dark Souls games on the channel. So I'm a huge fan of Dark Souls. I played the shit out of the first 2 or 3 of them. And if you...
turns out really bad at them, so...
I got really, really good at particularly Dark Souls 2. I was shit hot at Dark Souls 2. But if you want to see that viewership, let us know in the comments. If you want to see the Doctor and I play some Dark Souls, you tell us and we'll maybe make it happen. If there's a strong response, we'll consider it. I'm kind of good at them, or was good at them, so we'll see how that goes.
There we go. So I'm just kind of... I've got 3 areas to clear without triggering an alarm. And I could probably do this bonus objective of Stealth Brand Uruks. Stealth branding's relatively straightforward.
Okay, I mean, you give it...
I think, honestly, this Wraith World thing where you're going to, like, Eagle Vision or whatever the fuck they call it in Assassin's Creed does seem to very much be the key to this game, and was just... When the game told me about it once and I was drunk and didn't pay attention, and then it just was an uphill struggle from then on.
Yeah, to further liken this to the Arkham games, like in the Batman Arkham games, there's a similar feature called Detective Vision, which is where Batman, like, he turns the cowl on, basically, and like, you can see through walls and detect enemies' heartbeats and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
There's a couple of his like stealthy enemies where like it's a real challenge to defeat them in the Arkham games because like you can't see them in Detective Vision.
Yeah,
that makes sense. Or they disrupt his Detective Vision in some fashion or another.
Fortunately, this game has yet to throw me anything that does remotely that, which I'm glad for.
Yeah, that's why I kind of feel this game lacks a little bit. Like the Nemesis system is really cool, but it relies on like a tide of faceless orcs who aren't very characterful. After the first 10 or 15, you're kind of like, all right, another orc, great.
Yeah.
So maybe even, I don't know, having like some of the Nazgul as like our main antagonists, I don't know.
I have a little feeling that some of that shit does happen in the next game.
Yes. So I think we mentioned before, but we know that Isildur is like an antagonist in the second game because he is, according to the second game anyway, he's a Nazgul, which is nonsense, but...
Yeah. I'm sure it's not terribly done, but...
You know,
like, frankly, if you just explain the plot of this one to me from like a wiki summary, well, that sounds like bullshit, but it's been kind of enjoyable.
Oh, it has. Like, sorry, we don't want to, we're actually kind of nitpicking our viewership. We like this game. This is one of the games I think we've played on the channel that both the Doctor and I are like, oh no, this is good, you should play it.
Eventually. It took a while, but that was not inherently the game's fault.
No,
I'll leave it at that.
It absolutely was not.
That was, yeah.
The Doctor and I have both now obviously watched back the drunk chunk, and oh good god,
yeah, that's what in IT is referred to as a picnic.
Excuse me?
Problem in chair, not in computer. Basically, the IT problem is user error.
Ah, yes, absolutely. And, well, we've talked before that the game kind of misleads you in the air.
Oh, shit ass.
Oh.
That was not supposed to happen.
Eagle jump.
And there wasn't like 3 foot of hay to stop my fall after hundreds of feet, like in Assassin's Creed.
Talion's just immune to fall damage, evidently.
Yeah. Oop, shit. Who's seen me? Oh, you've seen me.
Arrow to the face.
No, I'm stabbed to the face. Let's do that, that's quicker. I do enjoy the Shadow Strike thing that lets you just zip around.
Did you ever play the game Dishonored?
No, it's also in this kind of feel, isn't it, of kind of like action stealth game that's not really stealth.
Well, actually, like, you can be stealthy. There's,
I know you can, but it, like, again, it's like, if you don't have to be stealthy, I think of it as not being a stealth thing.
But it has a really cool, like, blip feature where you short-range teleport and just gut a man at the end, and, like, it's very cool and very fun.
Oh, this guy's not ready for branding. Oh, whoops.
Oh, he's a named dude, I see.
Oh, he's Luga Manstalker.
Now that's a good Orc Chieftain name.
No, it isn't. That sounds like he should be found in the gay bar.
Luga!
The Manstalker. Ah, fucking get over there. There you go.
Well, we won't speculate on the channel because like there's very little to go on, but where it's not clear how orcs do reproduce. So yeah. Because like more of them have to come from somewhere. But yeah.
Oh god, for Christ's sake! Right.
He's kicking our ass here, Doctor.
Nah, we got him. Don't worry. Oh. Ah, shass. Come on. I suck. There we go.
It's actually like, and it ought to be, it's surprisingly difficult to go up against the chieftain that we don't know his weaknesses, isn't it?
Yeah, because it's just like, he keeps just doing things to me. Oh, fucking Christ. Oop. There we go. Oh, his weakness has been shot right in the face. Turns out.
How could you know, Talion? Arrows to the face, my one weakness. Do these guys look decidedly Roman to you?
Yes.
They look Roman and she looks kind of
Norse.
Celtic.
Yeah.
Or something like that, yeah.
I don't like that there are people living in Mordor in the Third Age. That doesn't make a lot of sense to me.
Fishing village.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, Sauron's just making his move back from Mirkwood.
Great thanks.
I get that, but like, where did these people come from?
No one, I guess.
Is Talion hitting on this chick? Because like, his wife's not even his wife's not even cold.
Yes.
Look at this horn dog.
Every moment is
Essentially, what you're doing is what Talion is saying, like...
Oh, sorry.
No, not Talion. What?
Celebrimbor.
Yes. No. Yes, exactly. It's not Talion. Yeah, Celebrimbor's essentially like trying to give him a cold shower.
I mean, it's not actually for me to speculate on. Like, if anyone listening to this has lost someone, it's not for me to say when you should move on. But I'm coming down on Talion here because his whole quest.
Yeah, Celebrimbor is basically saying you're not of her world. You can't do this.
It feels kind of strange though, given that Talion's entire quest here is to avenge his wife and child, and now he seems to get distracted by this hussy, this strumpet.